My first trip to Mexico in 2024 was for the purpose of installing the third 24/7 Christian radio station in Ocampo, Coahuila. The first two had been installed in the deep canyons of the southern part of the state of Chihuahua, far to the west. Over there I had met Luis Carpa, who had been a horrible drug addict but had accepted the Lord and was working with Cristo es la Respuesta, an evangelistic tent ministry in the state of Chihuahua. He had just recently married Sarah, a Christian Mennonite. It was my first visit to Ocampo, Coahuila, when I met his very special parents. We installed the station in their home. Inside the home, the components are a computer, a transmitter, an audio processor, and an uninterruptible power supply needed because the electricity in Mexico is very erratic. The voltage can fluctuate radically and go off often. We installed the antenna attached to the front of the house. The outside components are the tower, which is a 20-foot, 2-inch steel pole to which the antenna is attached. There is a small but important lightning arrestor to which the 1-inch coax that comes from the transmitter is attached. Once it was all set up and calibrated, we went out to test the signal. This is always an exciting thing to do, to hear the gospel for the first time over the airways in a new location. Then you need to let people know. So we set up signs announcing the new station on all the roads coming into town. But that's not all the marketing we did. We hired a small local business to drive around town with their little Volkswagen mounted with big speakers to go throughout the town announcing the station's inauguration in the park, where people would have the chance to win several telephones, a computer, radios, groceries, and clothes. The people began to show up until we had a large but scattered crowd. A local pastor sang some songs. Then I preached.
La Biblia es la verdad y esto viene de la Biblia. Y Dios nos ha dado profecías que está cumpliendo en hoy día para que podamos tener confianza a lo que dice su palabra. Y este es lo que dice.
Afterward, 4 people came forward to accept the Lord. I spoke with them as the drawings were conducted to distribute the gifts that we had brought. That evening, the local pastor set up his speakers in the middle of the street where he again sang and I again preached. Then, next day, we went around doing evangelism. I was able to pray with 7 or 8 people who made a decision to follow Christ after hearing a presentation of the gospel based on currently fulfilling Bible prophecy. That prompts a respect for the Bible and an interest in its message, which is the beautiful gospel. The following day, we went deep into the surrounding desert where we found an enclave of a dozen extremely poor homes where the people gather a specific weed or small cactus, which they then process with fire to produce a thick, sticky liquid that is used in making women's makeup. At least that's the way I remember it. We invited the people out to the basketball court, where again the pastor sang and I preached. This young man said he had been feeling the Lord tugging on his heart and felt finally persuaded to make the decision that day. I was going to leave the next day, but Luisa's brother was killed in a single car crash coming into town. It is the custom to have a wake with the body present. Every friend and relative from the town of 5,000 showed up. So my friend Luis wanted to seize the moment and to share the gospel. He set up a large speaker in front of the house and began to sing his heart out. He loves to sing, though he has somewhat of a monotone voice. Then he asked me to preach again. Many have asked me how much it costs to install a radio station. I put together this list, which shows the major components. Because of your encouragement, prayers, and support, this is possible. Remote towns like Ocampo are now hearing the gospel 24/7. Actually, as I'm making this video, we have 5 radio stations. I returned to Mexico with Pam in March, when she gave her life serving the Lord just after we had installed the 4th and 5th radio stations, which I hope to chronicle in the next video.